It's Derby weekend in Glasgow and it starts tonight at Firhill with a potential cracker in the West End. Partick Thistle face their south side rivals at Queen's Park and it is a massive night for both. Chris Doolan's Thistle sit fourth and a playoff spot is very much the target, but their opponents Queen's Park still lead the table. A win tonight would be huge in their aim of ending the season as champions. There is so much at stake for both sides. It's Partick Thistle versus Queen's Park under the Friday night lights. Good evening and welcome to Sports Scene, where we are hoping for a very good Friday night of football here at Firhill. Joining us for this one, we have Leanne Crichton and Richard Foster. Start of a bank holiday weekend, guys. Would you rather be anywhere else, Leanne?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Couldn't possibly see anything else.
Richard, you're back at one of your former clubs, expecting a decent night this evening?
Certainly hope so. I think both teams score goals. And that's me just giving it the kiss of death. But no, I think it'll be an entertaining game. Both teams try and play football, and I think that both teams get on the front foot, attacking game, and it's one I'm looking forward to because of what's on the line as well.
As Richard says, so much on the line, Leanne, counting down towards the end of the season, 5 games to go now. What do you expect from both of these sides tonight? As we say, when there is so much on the line, do you think it'll be a bit of a nervy performance? We know these sides both have goals in them.
It could be. I think more so for Queen's Park, because I think for them it probably feels like a must-win, because they've had such a stranglehold at the top of the division and it's dwindled away over the last number of weeks. So I feel for them in terms of momentum and getting that feel-good factor back, that a win tonight would be a huge statement and would give them that little bit of a cushion. It would move it to 4 points again if they could get the win. But Partick Thistle, I just see them as being a team that are rampant just now. I think they've got a bit between their teeth. I believe that they will believe that they can still go and win this division. So I think for them tonight, they're looking at this as a massive opportunity to move themselves towards the top, and it's going to be a cracker. Richard mentioned goals in the game. I think there's real quality that's going to be on display, and two managers, they've got a probably different feel about them in terms of experience. You've got that old manager come new manager. It's going to be a tasty one.
Let's take a look then at their most recent performances for sorry, just getting distracted there by Kingsley behind us. So yeah, for Queen's Park it's been 2 defeats on the bounce, Richard. 2-0 defeat against Wraith last weekend. That's not what they'll be looking for as we head towards this part of the season and teams are starting to gain a bit of ground on them.
Yeah, and I think it's probably the first time in the season that they've had to deal with this. I think that speaking to the manager beforehand, he's delighted with where they are in the league. They had no aspirations to be as high as they are, but they're here now, and not a lot of his squad has been in this position before, in this situation before, so it's a tough one for them to deal with. But he's very down to earth, the manager. He speaks very well. He'll give them the confidence and allow them to believe that they're still a good side, despite the last 2 results. They're still a good side. They've still had a fantastic season, and just go. And he likes his players to go out and enjoy the game. That's his big thing. Go and enjoy the game, and he always gives them a platform to do that. And he'll be hoping tonight to go out there and perform, because when they perform at is to the top of their ability, they're a very, very good side and probably the most entertaining in the championship.
Well, it was a contrasting weekend for Thistle. Last week they put 5 past Cove Rangers on the road, clean sheet, 5 goals. Leanne, crucially 5 different goal scorers as well. That's a performance that is surely going to set them up well for tonight.
It is, and it fills the team with confidence. Don't get me wrong, they'll look to goal scorers tonight, i.e. Brian Graham, Tiffany's players that are there and in and around the box all the time, but what they've got now is goals from all over the pitch, different scenarios, different situations, and I think when it comes to these pressure matches where there's so much on the line, it doesn't always go your way at times, and you need to look at different situations in the game that you can capitalise on, whether it's in these set piece areas or it's from open play. It's huge, and you've got to have that variation to your game. I think if you're a one-trick pony, it becomes pretty easy for an opposition to analyse you and match up against you. I think Partick Thistle are really difficult to handle. I think they've got so much quality across the pitch, different types of players, flair players that offer that power and pace. You've got then the aerial threats of a Brian Graham, Brownlee inside the opposition box, so they are a real handful. But absolutely 5 goals, 5 different scorers, it's a perfect setup.
It really is for them. Well, let's see how the table is looking heading into tonight's game. So yeah, Partick still in 4th there, but yeah, 3 points would be massive for them. And yeah, Queen's Park on the other hand, if they could get 3 points, Richard, you would like to think for them probably put them in a position where they're starting to think that the title is theirs, whereas if they don't, it could be a completely different situation given the fact that Dundee have a game in hand and there is just a point between them. So could this be a potential title deciding match from their point of view?
From their point of view, I think it can end the thought of Partick Thistle winning the title. I think if Queen's Park win tonight, 9 points, I don't think Partick can come back from that. But I don't think it doesn't quite get them over the line, obviously, because Dundee have been so good. But I think when you're at the top of the table, you just want your rivals to fall away. So tonight, if they manage to get the victory, which will be tough for them, but if they get the victory tonight, I think you could probably guarantee that Thistle are then not going to challenge for the title. Yes, there's obviously still the playoffs to play for, but that's one team checked off. So while it won't be a title decider, it'll go a long way to getting rid of one of their rivals.
Thistle might be coming into this game in better form, but when we look at the previous meetings this season, Leanne, maximum points Queen's Park have taken from the 3 meetings. So they have been a bit of a banana skin for the Jags this season, certainly.
They have, and I think psychologically, when you look at that, it's 9-2 in aggregate. So if you look at in terms of analysis throughout the week and you look back in those previous games, it probably doesn't fill you with too much confidence. That's when you then need to look to recent performances and how you've improved as a squad and a group since those games, analyse them and what you can do better. And I've got no doubt that Chris Doolan will have looked at that and how they can, capitalise on the opportunity that we'll get tonight, being at home in front of their own crowd in the position that Richard's just described. It's a 6-pointer, effectively. If you can go and win tonight, puts you in a really good spot. I don't think those results previously, though, will have too much of a say on the performance that we'll see out there tonight.
It certainly is the proverbial 6-pointer as far as the managers are concerned anyway. Chris Doolan and Owen Coyle have been giving their pre-match thoughts to Amy Canavan.
What has the reaction been like from your side? What a way to respond to your first defeat as manager against Inverness last week, scoring 5 goals against Cove. What has that momentum done for your side?
Yeah, it's massive. I think across the piece the momentum's been key, and I think we knew we would get the reaction against Cove because of the type of players we have, the professionalism we have as well, and we work ever so hard in training to be prepared for every game. So we knew we'd get the reaction, but we know it's not a given. We know it just doesn't happen. We have to still go out and apply ourselves well, which the players done. And you see that's what we're capable of, to go and score 5 and also to keep that clean sheet again. So absolutely delighted with last weekend.
And what about Queen's Park? They've been pretty tricky for Thistle to beat so far this season. Of course, you're not in charge, but how do you get the right result tonight? Yeah, well,
I think it's about us. To me, it's yes, those games are past now. They're in the past. You can't do anything about it, but we can change what happens tonight. So our attitude is that we fix it tonight. We're at home. It's all set up perfectly to have a game of football, and the players are really confident. I think they should be confident, especially off the back of last weekend. And like I said, that intent was there last weekend, and it shows what we're capable of. And it's about showing that again tonight. And then I think it's, like I said, it's about us, not about what Queen's Park do.
And a couple of changes from last weekend's side. Charlie Fox, of course, an enforced change. Talk us through your side tonight.
Yeah, so Stephen Easy will come in for Charlie Fox, and at the top of the pitch, young Aaron Haley will start. And terrific young player. I mean, certainly a throwback, when you see him on the ball. Get stuff to learn, obviously, the other side of the game, but we want to be positive, we want to get entertaining players on the pitch, we want to get back to our level of performance, which is key for us. In the last couple of games, we've probably not got to those levels. That being said, listen, we should have probably won the Broth game. Even last week, missed a penalty at 1-0. So there's fine margins in this league, but we come here against a very good team, a team in form, and it's got all the makings of a terrific championship game for sure.
And what has the reaction been like? Because we spoke last week and you said yourself the performance wasn't where it needed to be.
Yeah, I think so. What we're trying to build, and this is the thing, is that everything's really based around our performance. We know if we perform well, that we win games, and we've got a young team. We've got a lot of players, to be honest, that have probably not been in terms of these, I would say, tense games coming towards the business end of the season, which it is. But it's something, as I said before, it's very much, it's an old cliche, but very much a work in progress, what we're trying to do. At the outset of the season, nobody envisaged that we would be where we are, but we're here on merit, and we've probably, I think, underperformed the last couple of games, if truth be told, but we're still within those games could have taken points, and that's what we need to get back to. So, I mean, it's an exciting time of the season. We're going for a tough game tonight, one we're looking forward to, and we'll look to be positive, we'll look to play in the front foot, and if we get, the performance that we're after, then we'll sleep well at night. Sometimes you can perform really well, and then maybe an uncontrollable goes out, but the bottom line is that we need to get back to passing and moving the ball. That's when we're at our best, and when we do that, we've shown that we can cause anybody problems.
Well, it's 5 minutes or so to go until kick-off, and as the fans are arriving, as we can see, many of them, of course, will be hoping for a good result here at Firhill, so they can get their feet up on a Friday before the 4 other fixtures of the weekend as the championship continues to tighten. For Thistle striker Brian Graham, he's scored 12 goals in 26 appearances this season. He'll be hoping he can add more to his tally tonight.
Brian, there haven't been many faults to Chris Doolan's start as a manager. Perhaps the only issue was not scoring some goals. So how pleasing is it that the side so emphatically got firing on all cylinders last weekend?
Yeah, to be honest, it's not that scoring goals has been a problem. I think in a couple of games where it was 0-0 or we get beat 1-0 in Inverness, we didn't really create a lot. Last week we did, and you seen we go and get 5 goals and we start creating chances. The boys in this team will go and score goals, so that was a pleasing aspect.
You getting on the score sheet as well. Do you have any targets for the end of the season? Any numbers perhaps at the beginning that you thought, I want to reach that?
Yeah, there's always a wee black book with a number in it. I always never tell you guys what it is, and I'll tick it off at the end of each season if I make it. And lucky enough, the past couple of seasons I've been doing it, so fingers crossed, come the end of the season I'll be there again.
What has the mood been like in the camp recently? Are you guys allowed to look at the table? Do you look at those playoff position spots?
Listen, I'm not looking at playoff spots. I'm looking at tonight. If we can go win tonight, it takes it to 3 points. I'm not giving up hope to go and win the title, so we know what it's all about tonight. We know what we need to do, and we just need to go and win.
And it's been tricky so far coming up against Queen's Park. What are you expecting from them tonight?
Listen, they've got good players. I think the wee boy Savoury in the middle of the park's been excellent this season in midfield, so I think going forward they're a real threat, and we just need to be mindful of that. But we're also a real threat going forward as well, so hopefully it's an entertaining game for you guys.
Really appreciate your time, Brian.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Well, Richard, you've obviously got experience of playing alongside Brian Graham here at Thistle. What does he bring to just the team as a whole, as obviously we know his contribution on the pitch, but is he a leader in that dressing room?
He certainly is. You know, you hear the way he speaks now. You can tell he's used to being in front of people speaking. He speaks very well. He's got a real aggression about everything he does, you know, and he's infectious in the dressing room. He loves all the banter. He loves getting all the boys together. But when he comes out on the pitch, he really leads. You'll see him. There'll be no one that works harder than him tonight. He's always desperate to score goals. He absolutely loves nothing more, and he will celebrate a 1-yard tap in the same way he'll celebrate a 30-yard screamer. He just loves scoring goals, and it's a testament to him that he's still going so strong at his age, and the fact that he's still one of their most important players, because without him they are a different side. So he'll have a huge part to play tonight if Thistle are going to get all 3 points.
He is a leader, isn't he, Leanne? Obviously, given his experience in leading the women's side now as well, and that does make a difference within a squad, particularly when we get to this point in the season. That experience can be really beneficial.
Absolutely, and I think you'll have seen various sides to Brian Graham's leadership qualities throughout the season. I think you're never too old to learn, and you can see that the type of player that he is, the quality that he's shown, not only the goals that he scored. I think he's also got 7 assists this season as well, so he's had a real handle on a fair few of Partick Thistle's goals this season. He's a huge player, and I've got no doubt he'll play his part tonight. Just listen to the way he's speaking. For him, they're still going for the title, so he certainly means business.
Certainly do. Well, the teams are now out on the pitch. It's time to hand our commentary team for this evening, Alistair Lamont and James McFadden.
Thanks as always, Amy. High stakes Glasgow derby, which could go a long way to deciding the destination of the title. The leaders have dominated the fixture so far this season, making this a must-win for the challengers. With just 1 defeat in 8 since he took over, Chris Doolan is keen for continuity, so his only change is enforced. Lee Hodson remains ill after going off against Cove. His place is taken by Darren Brownlee, with Kevin Holt shuffling across to left back. Owen Coyle is also forced into a change, with Charlie Fox suspended and replaced by Stephen Ezzie. And there's one further change from the defeat by Raith, as Aaron Healy comes in for Josh McPake, who's on the bench. Scott Tiffany started all 8 under Doolan, and hit his goal at Cove last week was his 5th in that run, hitting form at just the right time. Grant Savoury's been a real goal machine for Queen's Park this campaign, taking over the top scorer mantle after Simon Murray's departure. Taking charge of the big fixture in Glasgow this weekend, Willie Collum. Owen Coyle has led his sides tantalisingly close to the championship title and a third successive promotion. Chris Dillon's Partick Thistle looking to thwart them. As you heard Brian Graham say pre-match, they still have their eyes on the title. 6 points between the sides. The home side want to reduce that to 3 by the end of play this evening. It will be the visitors who won 4-0 here in their last visit who will kick us off tonight. Can Queen's Park rediscover their mojo after a couple of sticky results? It's certainly an intriguing fixture this glorious Friday evening on Easter weekend. And James McFadden alongside me here to savour it with me. How do you see this one going, James?
Hopefully exciting, hopefully we get some goals.
We'd all echo that, but there's certainly been goals in the 3 fixtures so far. Queen's Park, as I say, dominating all 3 victories, 2-0 and 3-2 at home, as well as that thrashing in October. Partick Thistle, though, a different animal under Chris Doolan, it would appear. Well, just the one reverse against Inverness Cali Thistle when we visited there 2 or 3 Fridays ago.
Be interesting to see how each side deal with the pressure of this game. You know, Partick Thistle, if they get a win, it heaps more pressure on Queen's Park at the top. Queen's Park know that they've still got a job to do to go in and winning this league title. So it'll be interesting to see how they cope with it. Owen Coyle spoke about before the game about looking at performances, and if they get performance, you'll get results.
Almost a chance there early on. Savoury almost breaking through.
Yeah, it's not the best of clearances from Aaron Muirhead, but Darren Brownlee covering really well and Savoury bringing him down. But going back to what I was saying about Owen Coyle speaking about performance, and then, you know, Brian Graham's disgust at Amy asking him if he would be, you know, looking at the playoffs, and it shows you the character that Richard was speaking about before the game, that, you know, Partick Thistle believe they can go and still win this title, starting with a big performance and result tonight.
Robson wins inside a throw-in. It was also interesting to hear Owen Coyle talk about the fact that this is a novelty for many of his players. They haven't been up tussling for titles, certainly at this level. A number of them came through and helped them up to the championship last season, but you know, this is when a mentality really comes in as well as an ability.
Oh, without doubt, and I think last year they surprised a lot of people were actually going through the playoffs and going up. But this year, and he's absolutely spot on, they are where they are in merit, they deserve to be there. But it's a different pressure now. You see the last 2 results, maybe surprising for a lot of people, but maybe it goes back to that pressure that you're speaking about, players not used to being in this situation.
Maybe challenge there on Jack Thompson, penalised. Ross Docherty escaping the yellow cards with Willie Collum in close proximity. It's forward from Kildee, straight out of play though. Now I've got a little quiz for you tonight, James, you'll be delighted to hear, and you play along at home. When was the last time that Queen's Park finished above Partick Thistle in the leagues? And you don't have to answer straight away.
Well, I can if you want people to play along at home in case I get it right.
Oh, you're unlikely to get it right, let me tell you that. But have a wee think, and I'll tell you in a few minutes. But it's a long time, that's the one clue.
Well, I didn't need to think too long and hard about that one. I knew it was a long time ago.
Wating's lost it in the middle of the park. Kildee has it back though, the inside's Bannigan. Fed forwards, looking for Tiffany. He did get that opening goal in the rout of Cove last weekend. And certainly last season, James, he was fabulous for Partick Thistle and been plagued by injuries. But as I mentioned pre-match, he's played all of them, started all of them under Chris Doolan, and Partick Thistle are going to need the likes of him to really step up in these closing few matches.
Yeah, he's an exciting player. You know, he's one that, as a fan, you want to watch because he's direct. He wants to take the ball and run at people. And it's no surprise, you know, that it has been a huge part of Partick Thistle's success. And they'll be hoping when it comes to these type of games, you look at, you know, the attacking flair in both sides, that one of those players is going to step up and put in a real performance and produce moments of magic.
Turner just unable to gather Brian Graham's knockdown. Boateng hits the deck, but he's been penalised.
That's excellent from Kyle Turner.
There's Bannigan for Lawless, sweeps that out to Tiffany. Running at Oakley here. And it's come off Tiffany last. Good defending in the end from Marcel Oakley.
Yeah, he's got Marcel Oakley, Scott Tiffany dropping the shoulder and dragging it to the left, and I don't mind it because he is so predominantly right-footed. It's shown Marcel Oakley that he's happy to go down the outside. When I used to play there myself, although I didn't have the pace, the variety makes the defender think, and if Scott Tiffany can mix his game up, then Oakley will be in for a tough night.
Savoury on the chase. Muirhead's left with little option to concede the corner.
If in doubt.
A few hundred Queen's Park fans inside for Hill, hoping to see their side take another step closer to the title. Dom Thomas with the corner. It's a good delivery. Really dangerous looking ball.
It's a brilliant delivery, driven into that near post, and you can see they're trying to get the flick, expecting someone, Queen's Park jersey, to get round the back post. A nice effort.
Easy forwards. Mellon doing well, and then Muirhead completes the clearance. Robson couldn't connect with the pass from Eze. Right, I'll take your answer now.
1906.
Not quite as long ago as that, actually. That's a reasonable guess. It was actually 1935 when Queen's Park finished 12th in the old Division 1. Thistle a place below them. And ever since, Partick Thistle have been higher up the leagues than Queen's Park. So
was Chip working that day, covering again? Chip Young?
He always have. Good turnout from the Thistle fans this evening, making plenty of noise behind Callum Ferry's goal there. As McMillan picks up, there's a short ball into Turner and gets it back. Turner once more. Just held up by that Queen's Park back line. Now Lawless. Lawless wants to work it onto the left foot, ideally, eventually does do. It's a decent looking ball, and Eze gets up to flick it behind for a corner.
That's a brilliant header from Eze. Brian Graham's right behind him. It's a brilliant header.
Brian Graham always lurking. Turner with the near post ball. Brilliant touch by Lawless. And into the feet of Tiffany. Good defending again though from Stephen Eze. Not such good use of the ball.
What a touch that was for Stephen Lawless. Unbelievable.
Chested down by Graham, just a little bit too high for Lawless to take the shot on. Graham's kept it though for Partick Thistle. First spell of concerted pressure from the home side. Switches of play.
Let's get another look at this, Al. Absolutely magnificent for Stevie Lawless. The ball was in there a long time to get it under so much control, and then he's got the end product. Deserves so much more just for that touch alone.
Stephen Lawless finding his inner James McFadden there. That's for the older viewers among you.
I could still do that now, Al. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Another man who's a fair player in his day. Give chase, and he's got a fair turn of speed. Ferry forced into evasive action. Lawless as well. Helps the pass away to Graham. Now Holt. Oakley fouled by Holt. Not in his view, but certainly in the view of Willie Collum.
It's good defending again from Oakley. He's having to match the run of Holt just inside him. He does really well, Oakley.
He's done a terrific job since he's gone in there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He really has, with very little experience as well to go in and get the kind of results and performances he has. It's done magnificent.
There's Lawless. Comfortable take for Callum Ferry. No real chances to speak of thus far. Spark trying to change that as Healy comes forward. McMillan fouls him. And this gives Eze and Kildare a chance to come forward for the set piece.
That's really good play from Healy and down that left-hand side. Jack McMillan, I'm not so sure he has to make that foul.
Certainly we've got Dom Thomas's delivery in your armoury. This is a threat. It's an inviting ball and it's a corner.
Ryan Graham in doing the defensive work as well. We speak about him chasing defenders down, scoring goals, holding the ball up, but that's also a crucial part of his play for the team.
Thomas looking to carve out an opener here. This will get first contact. And Turner gets a free kick for Partick Thistle. Wants to take it quickly. Savoury in the way.
Willie Collins deciding to let quite a few go tonight. I think he's, you know, more than aware that the size of the game and the type of challenges and things that will happen within the game.
Kyle Turner asked the question as to why Savoury isn't booked for blocking the free kick.
I think Willie's maybe got the view that Kyle Turner knew exactly what he was doing and therefore decided not to play that game.
Yeah, but if you want to take a quick free kick and the player stand right in front of you, then you're entitled to
just put it off him.
Well, you're entitled to try and play it, and if he's in the way, then...
I agree with you. I agree. I'm just trying to give you Willie Collins' point of view. You should know that, being on the Partick now. I understand why referees are making the decisions they are.
I think it's a position that's very much up for grabs, actually, James, if you're interested.
What, refereeing to get tonight's game?
Well, Willie Collins taking no nonsense. Kyle Turner swings it in, it's a dangerous ball, and it's Eze again with an important header. I've seen some good deliveries at either end. As yet, no end product. Wasn't in a mood to give that up, but Kildee eventually sees it out of play. Muirhead not really dealing with that as he would have wished. Here's Thomas with Oakley on the overlap. It'll come to him inadvertently. He just sees it out for a corner kick.
Yeah, it comes from Aaron Muirhead not being able to deal with that ball. He lets it bounce. Caught in two minds. Queen's Park go forward with the ball.
Set plays could be crucial to the outcome of this game. Dom Thomas curls one in. It's a good header. It was Holt that was in there. It's Queen's Park pick up once more, and it's back with Thomas. Back onto the left foot. Cleared this time by Docherty. And the counter could be on. Lawless sees Tiffany ahead of him. One for Robson to keep an eye on. He does so well. Boateng runs it out of play. Willie Collins, I think, wants a word with both Boateng and McMillan here for a little coming together as McMillan prepared to take the throw-in. Just Boateng actually that gets the talking to.
If he's only going to talk to one of them, then why not let it play on and speak to him after?
McMillan, deep ball. As he rises highest once more. Shields hasn't had much of a look in thus far in that lone striker role. That's a slack ball from Muirhead. Thompson. Kildee steps forwards. Hasn't quite caught light yet this game.
You can understand with what's at stake. You know, I think Partick Thistle have had the better possession, got into probably more dangerous areas. It's just maybe that final ball, but it's totally understandable with the size of this game.
Yeah, neither side wants to lose it first and foremost. As Turner looks to play in, Tiffany come for Bannigan. Back with Turner. Not sure what you saw there.
Yeah, it's not like him. I thought Stuart Bannigan was just going to step onto that and hit the shot with his left foot. Sat nicely for him.
Thomas. Savoury trying to play in. Oakley as well to dig out the cross. Can't find a teammate though. Bannigan. He's looking for Tiffany. Now it's Turner. Looking for the pace of Tiffany again. Out comes Ferry. He does brilliantly to get there. He absolutely had to. Can Graham bring it under control to get the shot away? No, he can't. Knew exactly what he was trying to do there with Ferry way out of his goal. The other end, it's Healy. Thomas into Oakley. Thomas again. Can cross with the right foot. Shields got the shot in. Can't direct it on target.
Good play down the right from Dom Thomas. Just shifting it onto the right foot. Nobody thinks he's going to go back onto the left. Early cross. Connor Shields has to go and attack that earlier. He has to gamble. It's good defending from Muirhead. And this before from Callum Ferry is crucial that he comes out and gets that right. He reads it brilliantly, deals it well. Excellent goalkeeping.
Yeah, he had to be on his toes there, didn't he? And he was fortunate enough that the ball wouldn't sit for Brian Graham to allow him to get the long-range effort in. But Don Thomas doing what you were talking about, Tiffany doing as well, mixing it up, showing that he's not just all one-footed, he can go on the outside as well.
Yeah, when you do that, particularly when you're playing on the opposite side, which they both are, you desperately want to come in onto your stronger foot and maybe get a shot away or play a 1-2, then get your shot. But by going down the right-hand side, it allows the defender to think, well, he might do that again. I need to step inside to make sure that he's not getting the cross in, because the full-back's job is to stop the cross. And then when he does that, it means you can come inside and you know, get your shots away. It's crucial playing in the wide areas that you have a variety of your game.
There's McMillan. Earns the corner. Both sides racking them up. Stevie Lawless lines up the corner. Kildee with the clearance. Thomas will pick up for Queen's Park. Real challenge though. Izzy gets the 1-2, continues his run. And he's out of position now. Queen's Park have given it away. And Thistle take advantage. Turner, it's a good return ball for Lawless. Just too much in the pass for Bannigan. Good bit of build-up. It's just the final pass that let them down there. There's Shields drifting out to the right-hand side. Speeds Robson.
The one before that Thistle chance as well. Izzy done brilliantly to step in. As soon as it goes wide, he makes a dart for the box, and he's got his hand in the air. Tom Thomas just needs to clip that on the diagonal to pick him out. They try and play the intricate pass, and the chance is gone. Then Thistle almost go up and create an opportunity of their own.
If you're Owen Coyle, do you like that from Izzy? You know, he did nothing especially wrong. It wasn't him that lost the ball, but he is getting himself then caught out of position. In a game that is so crucial, and the first goal could be crucial. So do you want your centre-backs taking that kind of risk?
No, well, I think when he takes a risk and it comes off from his point of view, and there is an opportunity to put the ball in the box, then you put it in the box. I'm not saying that he'll be that will be the instruction. As much as you can, get yourself in the opposition box. But players, when they take that responsibility on and make their own decisions, then they have to be aware that, you know, that's a brilliant opportunity to put a ball in the box, because he's a giant.
Yeah, he's a big lad, Stephen Izzy.
The short answer would be, Owen Coyle would have been shouting on to Dom Thomas. The big man's went up, get the ball in the box. And then to the big man after Thistle, nearly got a chance. Don't do that again, because you didn't get the ball.
Yeah, he scored in the 4-0 win here earlier in the season. Owen Coyle had him playing out in India as well. Obviously a player who he knows well.
Feral unit. See him causing problems when he goes in the Thistle box from corners, wide free kicks. And then when Queen's Park set up, he just stands in the centre of that 6-yard box, as if to say, it doesn't matter what you put in, I'm going to go and attack it and deal with it. Thistle have to be a bit creative with that one.
Docherty, who's been penalised in the halfway line, bemused.
I think they're claiming for foul on Stevie Lawless just beforehand. But, you know, you let the play go and you can't complain that's not a foul, because it is.
It's a good pick out from Ferry. It's Robson able to come forward, and now Savoury got possession by Docherty. What can Thistle do with this? It's Tiffany driving at that back line. Has Graham held his line? No, he hasn't. The flag goes up.
Stevie Lawless is right behind him as well. I think that's maybe the intended pass was for Lawless, but Brian Graham is never ever leaving that for someone else, especially when he can get his shot away. You just see Stevie Lawless coming into the picture. He's on as well.
Yeah, he looked on initially. It was the pass actually released at that point. I wasn't sure, but it was very tight. The assistant put up the flag to halt the Thistle attack. Still we remain goalless. It's Healy. Still Healy. Here's the break of the ball. And David Mitchell able to come out and grab that, but immediately gives possession back to Queen's Park. Thomas. And off that right flank, tries to slot it in. You see exactly what he's trying. Didn't get the angle on the shot that he was hoping for.
That's really good play from Dom Thomas, cutting in on that left foot. He just does a little fake just here. That opens up the space to get the shot away. He doesn't catch it quite how he'd like. He's trying to bend that in the far post. Nice and bright from Dom Thomas.
He's had a good season. 10 goals and 13 assists. It's a head knock, Willie Collum indicates on Bannigan.
Caught a flailing arm there. Shoot Bannigan. It's a sore one. It is a sore one. I think Tom's is just going to try and head the ball, and I'm not so sure how aware he is that Shoot Bannigan's behind him, or how close he is to him. Nonetheless, a sore one for Shoot Bannigan. That'd be a 10-minute delay in a Premiership game out.
Graham, who loses out to Kildee. And Queen's tried to spring the counter. Thomas overruns it. And Tiffany will go at the other end. Try to loop it over Oakley. It's caught late there by the fullback. Willie Collum spotted it and will pull it back for the free kick.
Great play from Tiffany. Collum's right there as well to see it. Unusually lenient tonight, hasn't he, Willie?
Kyle Turner, who like Dom Thomas has racked up double figures in assists this season. That's a decent take, but always too close to Callum Ferry.
Can I just say I don't mind the fact that Willie Collum's let a few go as well, because we know this is a game that's going to be fiercely contested. There's going to be challenges and not everyone has a yellow, so fair play to him.
Thomas lifts it in, Muirhead away, Bannigan will pick up. Not a good pass from the veteran midfielder. And Shields is coming back from an offside position. Not a lot in it again, but the assistant on the far side raising the flag. I know you're one who likes the high fashion chart, James, so what's your take on David Mitchell's outfit tonight?
I don't mind it. I know you're a critic of the goalie jerseys out.
I don't like garish.
I wouldn't buy it. Put it this way, I wouldn't buy it, but I've never been a goalie, so I don't mind it. If there's an outfield top, then maybe.
Wallace. Looking for Graham, but Boateng was there. Wallace tries to squeeze it back through for McMillan. Pass from Doherty, getting his angles just right. Brownlee. Savoury will pick up in the loose ball. Thistle trying to funnel players back. Healy now. It's a poor delivery. Doherty well positioned. Thistle fans claim for handball against Kildee, but didn't look like it. And he's found Healy once more, who this time turns the side a corner. can't believe you said you don't mind that.
Because I don't have to wear it, Al.
Thomas lifts it long. Eze again wins the header, but free kick is going Partick Thistle's way. Turn with the player down.
Just running across, Kyle Turner's just standing. Zone opposition. Eze just comes through the back, catches him just behind the ear.
Amy was asking the question pre-match, might it be a nervy game? It's not so much that it's been nervy, but it certainly hasn't been maybe as entertaining as we had expected.
No, but it's two very good teams that aren't offering up opportunities easily. So in that respect, there's no surprise. There's been a lot of instinct within, the middle of the pitch. Just that final ball just hasn't been there, whether that be poor decision making or really good defending.
Shields. Partick Thistle wanted a free kick. Holt gets the clearing header. Turner. Wallace, he's looking to find Bannigan, but Robson was in the way. Picks up again, Lawless. Big shout of man on for Brownlee from the crowd. Against poor distribution from Muirhead though. Savoury was caught late there. That'll be a free kick. And I think Docherty, yeah, he's going to go into Willie Collins' book. First player to do so.
Yeah, I think he's right. Just a little bit late from Docherty. That's a sore one as well.
And it's also a good position for Queen's Park for the free kick. Dom Thomas on the left foot, able to curl this one in goalwards. And Eze, among others, will be up there looking to get on the end of it. "13 assists, 11 in the league, equal top assister, if that's a word, with Paul McMullen. Here he is, clipping that one in. It's Turner, diminutive Turner, getting in ahead of Eze there though, and Partick Thistle looking to counter. Tiffany almost through the legs of Robson, who stuck to his task well and crucially stopped the attack, and then by foul means stopped. Second time, or maybe not, just a throw-in.
He gets his foot to the ball, but for me he goes through the back of Tiffany to get his foot on the ball.
Muirhead almost finding McMillan. Kildee pokes it away. It's almost been a case of the two teams cancelling each other out. Pretty well matched by the looks of it. Both still with designs on automatic promotion to the Premiership. Here's Turner, and he slip it through for Lawless. He can. It's Lawless in a good position outside of the left boot. Oh, it's just too much on it. And Tiffany couldn't quite stretch to either get the shot in or bring it under control. Almost a glorious goal.
That's brilliant from Turner. Great little pass, great run from Lawless. And he's just standing it up to the back post. Just too beyond Tiffany for me initially. Could he go and throw his head at it? Maybe a bit wide for that. But it's a well-worked opening. I dare say his target was Brian Graham, who was right in the middle of the goal.
I'm just wondering, inverted wingers operate to really good effect a lot of the time. Is that an instance where actually just a natural right footer just curling that in would have been better?
Yeah, but Yeah, I think a right-footed cross is definitely, you've got more accuracy with it. I think the outside of the boot cross looks amazing, especially if it works. But I think Stevie Lawless can hit that with his right foot and put it into the path of Brian Graham. But sometimes, because of where the ball is, you're then having to delay the cross a little bit. So the quickest way to get it in is with the outside of the boot. It's inches away from being perfect.
Yeah. 5 minutes left in the half then, still no goals. Queen's Park almost finding a way through, they might yet. Savory taking the shot on from distance.
That was Brian Graham in the left-back area blocking that pass there as well.
Well, Richard Foster said no one in the Partick Thistle side would work harder than him in the first half, so he's proving I'm right. Just a little bit over elaborate there from Queen's Park. Turner looking to free himself of Thompson. Holt get there? Yeah, he can, but only to prevent the goal kick. Sports Sound's got an early start tomorrow. The build-up to Celtic against Rangers starts at 11:30. Radio Scotland. And there'll be a reaction to that and all the rest of tomorrow's action from 4:30 on BBC One Scotland on Sports Scene Results. Big day in the Premiership, a big day in the Championship as ever tomorrow as well. Some crucial games. Dundee will be watching this game no doubt with interest. They're away at Arbroath. John Rankin's Hamilton Accies have got a bottom of the table battle against Cove Rangers after a fabulous win over Raith Rovers during the week, following up their win over Raith in the Challenge Cup, of course. Confusion as to what exactly has been given here, but it is a throw into Queen's Park. Are we heading into half-time goalless? Penalised, and Partick Thistle looking for a late strike in this first period. Flanagan finds Turner, tries to release Tiffany. Oakley has marshalled Tiffany pretty well, you'd have to say, in this first half.
Yeah, he has, he's dealt with him, but he's always a threat, Tiffany.
Docherty steps away from the challenge and plays Bannigan. He helps it out to Lawless. McMillan on the overlap. Another one from the outside of the left boot. But McMillan's cut back. Can't get beyond Kildee, who again was well positioned.
That's what I mean, when it works, it looks amazing. And he's clearly got the ability to play passes with outside his boot. To Brian Graham, who's
Not seen too much of the ball in the first period. 1 minute of added time to be played at the end of this first half. Quiet half for the goalkeepers by and large. Shouldn't be too surprised that Partick Thistle haven't let any in. They've conceded just 1 in the last 5 and 2 in total under Chris Doolan. Certainly sorted their defence out. Being brushed to the ground by Kildee.
Experience here from Brian Graham.
Yeah, it didn't look an awful lot in it. So we're going to have to get it upfield quickly if they want a one final chance in this first half. Well, that's an end to a goalless first period. Neither goalkeeper really called into action. Stevie Lawless almost putting one on the forehead of Tiffany in that first half. Just too much on the cross. Not too much to write home about for either side as they still vie for superiority in the title chase. At half-time at Firhill, it's Partick Thistle 0, Queen's Park 0.
So yes, it is all even as it stands here at Firhill. Leanne, not too much to write home about, as I was saying there in that first half, but both sides are probably going to be happy going into the dressing room at half-time, having not conceded, and it is all still to play for at this point.
Yeah, not too much to write home about, and absolutely everything to play for. And at this stage of the game, you want to be in the game in a position that you can go and win it. I think there's still a lot of quality that can come to the fore. I think when you go in at half-time, you look to analyse it and what you can do better. It's just that final part to the puzzle for both sides. I think they've looked to try and work it, certainly from the back line into the middle of the pitch. I think from a Partick Thistle perspective, if I go to them first, they've probably just been a bit too narrow and too easy to defend against for most part. I don't think it's really stuck at times, even when it's up to Brian Graham. I don't think Tiffany has isolated players enough in 1v1 situations and really caused too much of a threat. And I think Queen's Park have had moments that they've got entries into that final. They're just lacking a bit of quality, but whether that's down to nerves or just feeling the pressure ever so slightly, but absolutely don't concede goals and you're always in with a chance to pick up all 3 points.
Do you think it is nerves a bit, Richard, just neither side really being able to do much in that final third and just a wee bit scrappy at points?
Yeah, I think both teams are trying to go forward too quickly. They're trying to play that final pass when sometimes it's on just to keep the ball in the other team's half. Try and probe and press for an opportunity. When you get someone like Dom Thomas, for example, in the Queen's Park team, you know, he will find a pass, he will find a cross, but I think sometimes, and he himself has been guilty of it, they're trying for that killer pass too early. And Thistle, on the other hand, exactly the same. I think Kyle Turner's got a lot of quality, Scott Tiffany, as we know. They're trying to find the ball through to Brian too early. A couple of times they've overhit passes when they've had good runners from midfield. So I think, you know, it's sometimes you get a lack of quality, but I think because there's so much riding on the game, I think there probably is a hint of nervousness, and both teams will be happy that it's 0-0, and both teams will be happy that they know that they can both play better and offer more in an attacking sense in the second half.
Let's take a look at what was probably the best chance of the game, came towards the end of that half there, and it was Scott Tiffany, a cross in from Stevie Lawless, Leanne, that just could not.
Yeah, and it was probably one of the better kind of phases of play that Partick Thistle had in terms of stretching Queen's Park as a defensive unit and really asking them to go and defend. It's just that final ball. You know, I think when Tiffany gets in at the back area, it's probably a difficult one and probably not the type of ball that he's used to going and attacking. I think he's more a player that arrives and looks to try and, you know, have the ball on the deck. I think you're looking for Brian Graham to be in that position.
I think he overhits it. I think he overhits the cross. I think he's going for Brian. Because like Leanne says, if you look at the two of them, you're thinking it's going to be Brian, and I think the ball just lifts up slightly, gets too much on it, and it almost comes to Tiffany, but it's always going to be difficult to score from that angle.
Dom Thomas at the other end, Leanne, he had a couple of decent crosses into the box, missed a chance that was saved.
Yeah,
He's causing problems down that right-hand side.
He's had a couple of moments, and I think, you know, Dom Thomas, the type of player that is, he will always do that because of the quality that he's got. At times he's drifted into this right-hand side. He's then looked to work it and come centrally, but there's nothing really that's been clear-cut for him, nothing that's allowed him to really go and unlock the door. I think at moments he's perhaps trying to force it and look to try and create something because he's the type of player that's the pressure and the demand that's on him. He's used to the assists and numbers this season, so that comes with a pressure. But he's a flair player, and I think if you allow him time and opportunities, and if you allow him this level of consistency to continue getting into those types of areas, he will eventually find a breakthrough. And he's a tricky footballer, whether he draws a free kick out of you in those types of areas, in and around the box is where he is a huge threat.
Yeah, that's the thing. We know what Dom Thomas can do, 11 assists in the 30 appearances. Are they just missing, do you think, Queen's Park, that I suppose what they had in Simon Murray, and being that clinical finishing ability?
Yeah, I would say Simon Murray's more of a goal scorer than Connor Shields. I think Shields offers a lot of pace in the counter-attack, but it's not really been a counter-attack type of game, so you haven't really been able to get him in. I mean, he's done okay in the game, but he's not... He takes himself out of the box a lot of the time. He wants to come out wide areas and try and play with Dom Thomas, for example, where with his quality, just stay in the middle of the pitch and allow Dom Thomas to find you with the ball where you're a threat. Because if I'm the two centre-backs for Thistle, as soon as I see Shields running into the wide area, I'm happy because I know he's not in the middle of the goal and no one's coming into that space to replace him. So then they don't have anyone in the middle of the box, which obviously the manager will be looking at thinking we need to get more players in the box because we've got quality from the wide areas, but we need people in there to get on the end of crosses.
We did have a bit of drama, bit of a flashpoint causing problems for Willie Collum here. Leanne, we were on the other side of the pitch, but what do you think happened here?
I think the reality is, I think that until this point, you listen to the guys speaking about it in commentary, you know, that Willie's probably been fairly lenient tonight, I think, to a point. And you know what players are like, they look to try and gain an edge and get in the ear of the referee. It's just two players coming together. I think there's a frustration, and you look for the referee to go and make a decision, and I don't think Willie Collum liked it.
Should there be a booking there?
It's a booking, because if you're going to do that, you're going to block the free kick, stand over the ball, turn your back on it and walk away slowly, so you're still in the way, but he makes a motion towards the ball to block it. So while
Willie Collum is not happy, safe to say.
Basically said, stop arguing, get on with the game. But yeah,
stop the back.
I think Kyle Turner's got a right to expect the player to be booked there because he's actively tried to stop him taking a quick free kick.
As you mentioned, Leanne, though, Willie Collum being quite lenient, we would say. There were a couple of moments where you thought we might have had a card out, a name in the book, and he was letting things go.
Which has been a good thing to a point, and I know James agreed with that as well, because I think it comes a point now that every little bit of contact you almost expect a free kick or a card to be shown, although there's been a couple of moments that I think he could have dealt with and perhaps could have produced a yellow card. I think we'll see one here. You know, for me, that's a bad challenge. You know, and I think if you've got VAR, which
no, VAR wouldn't come in for a booking.
No, but I think that it's certainly look at a
things?
possible red card check and things like that. And I'm not saying that that's a red card, but I think you can see a difference in the way a referees a championship game tonight, where they just make decisions or they let things go quite willingly, knowing that there won't be that second review, which can be a good thing.
In the game, I mean, going forward, Richard, what do you think both managers will be saying in that dressing room? How are they going to break down either side? Just
have more composure in the final third. You know, don't rush the cross, don't rush the final pass. Maybe play an extra pass, allow your team to get up the pitch, because they're attacking in ones and twos at the moment. They're trying to play that killer pass from too deep, too early, and both teams have been guilty of the same thing. So I think just enjoy being on the ball in the other team's half and actually try and work an opening, as opposed to just throwing the ball forward and hoping you get a bit of magic from one of your players. If you spend a bit of time on the ball in the other team's half, you're going to be able to break teams down, you're going to be able to find the gaps. At the moment, it's end to end without any real quality at either end. Well, it's not been the only game that we have seen today. Scotland's women were playing in a friendly match against Australia. We'll look at how that ended shortly, but before the game, we sat down with Kirsty Hansen.
Kirsty Hansen, winger, Aston Villa and Scotland. My mum suggested it one day. Went, oh, you can play for Scotland, you know, and I wasn't really looking for international football. I think I was playing for Manchester United under 17s at the time and I was enjoying it, and I do have mostly a lot of Scottish family, and my granddad was a big football supporter, and I wanted to just make him proud, I think, and my grandparents. And yeah, I thought I may as well go for it. I went along to a camp and I really enjoyed it, and I think I went to every camp since, and then eventually got selected for the first team, which is obviously an honour. It's absolutely amazing to play at Hampden, obviously, especially when there's loads of fans there. It's such an amazing atmosphere, it's so special, and my family come along, and it's just absolutely amazing. Like, I remember the last time I played at Hampden, my granddad came, who's no longer here, and I'm just so happy he got to see me play there, and hopefully I just continue making him proud.
In terms of club, how is life in general at Aston Villa?
Yeah, it's obviously amazing. I just went there to obviously try put myself out there, prove a point, just get better, gain confidence again, and yeah, I think it's great. It's amazing, obviously, to have Corsie there as well, and she's really helped me. She knows how to boost my confidence. She knows how to put an arm around my shoulder if I need it, and yeah, we're doing amazing at the moment. Obviously better than what people would have thought, but yeah, they were obviously at the lower half of the table last season, and we're in the top half, and we're fighting against some of the top teams. I just want to show that I'm a good player, and I want to obviously keep improving every season, and I think sometimes it's hard to do that if you've got a lack of confidence. So I think, especially with the teammates around me, they've really brought out an extra energy out of me, and I think I'm just getting on the ball, and especially Carla Ward, she says just do what you're best at, and I think it's just nice to hear that and just go out and do what I can do best. So I've just been doing my best at that, and yeah, the teammates around me have been amazing, and just nice to play with, like, obviously really good players like Rachel Daly, Kenza, and I think most of my assists have come from them finishing off my passes, so I'm glad they've been in the box there for me, because I don't know if anyone would have finished it off otherwise, but yeah.
And off the park, how's life in Birmingham?
Yeah, it's actually really good. If I'm not at home with my dog, walking him, chilling with him, he's really helped me move down to Birmingham. I think I'd be lonely if I didn't have him. It's so weird because I've always wanted a dog. When I was younger, every Christmas, at the top of my list was a dog. But my dad's been allergic to him, and he still brings this up, but when I was younger I went, when Dad dies, can I have a dog? I know, horrible, but anyway, I moved out and I got a dog, and yeah, he's been the best thing I've ever got, because I think, especially last season, got a bit down, and I think he's really helped me. He keeps my mind off football sometimes when things aren't going well, and he gets me out of the house as well. I do so much exercise. Maybe don't want to, but yeah, he keeps me on my toes, and he's a little monkey, but I absolutely love him.
So yeah, Kirsty got her dog, and Scotland also got a huge win against Australia in London this afternoon. And Leanne, I think we could watch this goal from Nicola Docherty over and over. Her second international goal, and what a strike it is.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Top drawer finish, and you know, it's unusual to see, because normally that right foot of Nicola Docherty's for standing on. She's certainly more dominant with her left. But it shows the quality that she's got, certainly coming in off that left-hand side, and it's a brilliant result for Scotland today to go and beat Australia, a side that are, you know, ranked well above them just now in the world rankings, a team that will go to the World Cup. And these international camps at this stage of the game, this is a chance as well that Kirsty Hansen had in the game as well, just showing the quality coming off the back of her interview. But I think it was a test for Scotland, because it's a tricky window where you don't have that tournament to go to. You know that other teams are preparing for different things to you. They're without the captain as well. Rachel Corsie was missing today, along with other players, Erin Cuthbert as well, and many others. So it could have been a real difficult challenge, but credit to the group, and certainly when you've got quality like that, as I say, Nicola Docherty's goal, it's all the difference.
Just a shame. It's a friendly, Richard, that they managed to put in one of their best performances under Pedro Martinez Losa. But as Leanne says, that's surely going to just give them a boost in confidence when it comes to looking ahead to the Nations League and the Euro 2025 qualifiers, even though they won't be at the World Cup this year.
Yeah, of course. You know, when you miss out on tournaments, it's always going to be, you know, we're used to it with the men's game, you know, we've been one in the last 20 odd years, whatever it is, longer. So, but it's always disappointing when you miss out. But you've got to put in the performances when the games come around. And like you say, they don't get together that often, the national team. So when they do, they've got to produce a performance, have a good environment around the place, and just keep themselves going for the next, the next competition, the next tournament, because there's always going to be another one around the corner. So, fair play to them, put in a really good performance. Probably should have, scored or got another goal there. But yeah, it's a difficult one for them when you're watching other teams go. But they should just go and watch it with the men's team because they're used to it.
Back to tonight then, Leanne, the players just coming back out on the pitch. How do you see this second half going? Because let's be honest, a draw's no good for either team.
No, it's not, and I think maybe at the start of the half it might be a bit cagey. I think certainly as the game goes on beyond that 75-minute mark, if it's still 0-0 and we haven't seen an opener, I think you'll see both sides really going at it. I don't think it'd be the worst result for Queen's Park if they remain at the top of the table tonight and look to the results over the weekend, perhaps to go their way, because we know in the Championship that's not unrealistic to think that way. But you want to see teams coming out and looking to win this game. As you say, a point's no good, so a real attacking threat, I think we might be in for a treat.
Fingers crossed, that is what we have in store for this second half. Time to hand back to our commentary team of Alistair Lamont and James McFadden.
Thanks again, Amy. Partick Thistle preparing to get us back underway, looking for the goals that will fire them to within 3 points of the league leaders. As the last of the Thistle players make their way onto the field. What words of wisdom, I wonder, as he imparted at half-time to try and eke out a victory. Certainly on the first half evidence, you wouldn't imagine there's going to be a barrel load of goals in the second period. It might well be that one goal is enough to win this one. No changes for either side at the start of this second period. Owen Coyle certainly reckons Queen's Park are ahead of schedule. Didn't expect them to be leading the Championship at this stage. But they are a very ambitious club. They're on the back foot right now, though. Tiffany didn't make the most of that opportunity. Seemed to be goal side of Marcel Oakley just momentarily, but Oakley again recovered well.
He did. It's brilliant from Brian Graham. Chest and flick behind him, and you're right, Tiffany, I think he's trying to make his mind up on what to do. He has to take his touch across Oakley, stop him from getting back to you, but I have to say it's good defending again from Oakley.
Doherty swings it in. There's always going to be a difficult chance for Brian Graham to manufacture the power and accuracy on the header.
Yeah, I thought Doherty was just going to hit the shot there. And it's Lico Day actually just puts a little bit of pressure on Brian Graham to stop him from generating that power. A bright start to the second half for Partick Thistle.
Yeah, you reckon they just edged that first period?
Yeah, I would say so. I think that they had good bits of control in the game. They worked the ball into dangerous areas, and maybe just that final pass was missing. I think that certainly Chris Doolan will be happier if both managers get in at half-time. And the flip side of that, Owen Coyle will be looking at saying they can play much better, and it's still 0-0. So just a little bit more from Queen's Park. But yeah, I would say Partick Thistle just shaded it.
So we're going to load the box here. As Turner prepares to launch the free kick in towards the edge of the box. Right into the box it goes, in fact. It's Eze, comes to Wallace on the edge. And there's an offside flag. And in any event, regardless of who that came off last.
No surprise, Ezzy's the one that wins the header. And it drops to Stevie Laws. I just don't think it drops quick enough for him. He hits it a bit high. And I think the claim was for a corner kick. May well have come off Ezzy at the end there.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I didn't see an offside in there, I have to say.
I think they've given a goal kick.
It's a goal kick
to say that the ball came off Brian Graham.
Right. Looked like the assistant was signalling for an offside to me, but I misread the flag. Wallace has seen plenty of the ball. Turner takes over into the feet of Graham. Tiffany now cuts it back. Big chance! It's a goal for Partick Thistle. Queen's Park were waiting for the flag. Kevin Hall wasn't hanging about with the back post as he tucked it home from Tiffany's cutback. Queen's Park protest, but Partick Thistle have the lead. And what a big goal that could be.
What a quality goal it is. Really, really good play. Brian Graham round the corner into Tiffany. I must admit, as soon as it comes to him, I've got my eye on the assistant referee to check for an offside. But this is excellent play. He's onside. You can see Oakley's playing him on. Brilliant touch round the corner from Brian Graham. And when Scott Tiffany gets into that position, he gets his head up, spots Holt at the back post. And that is a great finish as well on the right foot from Kevin Holt. It's a magnificent goal from Partick Thistle and one they deserve.
Yeah, it's a good call from the assistant, you have to say. It's very tight, but he looked in line. Scott Tiffany. And the assistant correct to keep his flag down. To the naked eye, it did look like he might have crept offside, but the anxious Partick Thistle fans round about was also wary of the flag going up. But Kevin Holt notches his 6th goal of the season and he might not score a more important one.
It's a really cool finish on the right foot from Kevin Holt. And we're going to get a chance again to see the assistant referee is bang in line with it. That is a tough call for him to make because Oakley's on the other side of the pitch. Maybe just giving Tiffany the benefit of the doubt, being the attacker. I think that's a good call. I think it's an excellent goal from Partick Thistle's point of view. It'll be interesting to see what kind of response, if any, Queen's Park have.
There are a couple of moves of a similar ilk in the first period and they just broke down at the last gasp, and this one they were able to finish, and it is, as you say, a really tidy finish by Kevin Holt. I remember him scoring on his right foot. I think it was against Cali Thistle here before, and he was asked post-match, well, you scored on your bad foot, and he said, I don't have a bad foot.
Well, he's
very
right.
Modest of him, but
he's right, isn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was an assured finish, and he was in a really advanced position, in the right place at the right time, as the saying goes. And well, the game needed a goal. I'm sure the Queen's Park fans would potentially disagree with that, but Brian Graham again using his experience to win the free kick.
I mean, it's 0-0. It is frustrating when that happens to you as a defender. I mean, his left arm does come over his shoulder, but especially when you're losing, even more frustrating. Good play from Brian Graham.
Billy Collum indicating that he won't be having any time wasting, and Ross Doherty, having been booked, would be well advised to take him at his word. Wallace for McMillan. Holt's up there again. Let's get the head to it. Well, it's a comfortable take for Ferry.
Fancies another goal.
Is he taking advantage of the fact that he reckons Dom Thomas is not going to track him back, for, at least not all the time.
Yeah, I think that when you've got a player the ability of Dom Thomas, as a full-back, you want to try and make him defend and get him as far back the pitch as you can. Sometimes you've just got to gamble that he won't pick you up. He did on that occasion, Holt. I have to say again, it's magnificent play to work the opportunity. But yeah, you have to just gamble sometimes.
Here is Thomas at the other end looking to inflict some damage on the Thistle back line. It's a good ball. And Shields couldn't turn it goalwards. It's out of play. It's a goal kick. Can't ask for much more than that from Dom Thomas as a provider.
Nah, it's really good feet from Dom Thomas. Fake to come inside, little drag, and just get anything you can on it. It's a little nick far in Muirhead just before it comes to Connor Shields. But really positive play from Dom Thomas. And that's the flip side of Holt going forward. I know he wasn't exposed there, but it's a game of cat and mouse sometimes between the winger and the fullback, deciding when to go back and when to almost steal a few yards. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops if Holt continues to bomb on.
Well, we've got a lead to defend now, so perhaps he won't, but here's Turner. Is he drawn out to the left-hand side? He's beaten comfortably by Turner, pushed away by Ferry. It was Holt who was arriving again at the back post there, who's looking to be the beneficiary of the cross from Turner. Here's Tiffany.
That time Thomas matched him all the way, because he had to, so he is going to keep going and trying to get that second goal. Great play again from Kyle Turner. Making that run in behind, little jink, and he gets into the area. And there you see Holt and Dom Thomas at the back post. Exactly where Kevin Holt wants Dom Thomas, defending his own back post.
Queen's Park, as I mentioned earlier, have won all 3 meetings prior to this season. Thistle had come out on the previous 12 encounters going back to 1982-83. They were obviously pretty sporadic in that spell, as Stephen Eze is penalised and is going to get, at the very least, a talking to here from Willie Call and Brian Graham. Felt the full force of Eze's bulk there. No card.
He's certainly winning, Brian Graham, isn't it? Anytime anyone comes near him, he's panicking the defenders into trying to deal with him. As in this occasion.
Free kick taking shot, Holt swings it in. Boateng gets it half clear. Queen's Park about to make a double change. As Thistle look for a second. That's going to roll behind for another Thistle corner. I think the change will wait, or the changes will wait until after the corner. McPake and Henderson, as you can see there, are the players waiting to come on. 2 attack-minded players as Owen Coyle looks for someone to provide the spark his side need to get back into the game. Here's Turner. Just over Kevin Holt. Tiffany picks up into the penalty area he goes. Savoury's nicked it off him. Lawless has won it back. Oakley's there for Queen's Park. Kept in by Tiffany. Here's Turner up against Eze. Danced past him a minute ago. Can he do so again? Not too far away, Kyle Turner. He's having a really good game.
so close from Kyle Turner, and I love the fact that he backs Eze up, takes him into the box, makes it difficult then to make the challenge, and he just can't wrap his foot round it. Find Brian Graham, as you see there, at the back post, but really, really bright play from Kyle Turner.
Grant Savoury and Aaron Healy, the players being replaced. Healy's not really been able to offer too much going down the left. He's surprised though to see Grant Savoury, not so much because of his performance tonight, but just because he's been such a big player for Queen's Park. Surprised to see him making way.
Yeah, I think it's just a change for Owen Coyle. I think that Partick Thistle have been really strong in that midfield area. Henderson just coming on, maybe playing more advanced alongside Connor Shields off the back, the Bannigan and Docherty to cause a different problem.
Well, Colin pulling that back for a free kick to Partick Thistle. Graham taking Kildee out wide. Throw in taken quickly for Docherty, who's looking for Holt. In goes Turner, and Eze gets the better of him on that occasion. Good work from Tiffany. It's going to be a Thistle throw-in. Does it look to you, James, the way Kevin Holt's playing in this second half? Has there been an instruction at half-time that it does look to be getting forward a lot more?
Potentially, because that's exactly what he's doing. You know, he seems to be getting as advanced as he can. I don't know if that's because you've got Jack McMillan on the other side, who's an attacking full-back as well. So, yeah, I think it's just a case of maybe trying to affect the game, getting into that back post, because Eze's size in the air, maybe just to provide a different outlet.
Boateng penalised. Fans wanted a handball against him, but it was a subsequent foul on Kyle Turner that was actually penalised, I think, by Willie Collum.
Could have been for either. I'm going to say it was for the foul.
Decent position again for Thistle. Kyle Turner more than capable of picking out a teammate here, which I think was the likelier attempt here rather than a shot at goal. It's a good looking ball. Boateng it was who got in the way before Graham could make anything of it. Docherty, strong challenge, it will come for Turner. Oh, what a save that is from Callum Ferry to keep his side in the game. My goodness, I was convinced that was going to be 2-0, so was Kyle Turner, but Callum Ferry with a wonderful save.
That's an outrageous save from Callum Ferry. It really is. Kyle Turner does everything right, puts it to the side, almost eyes him up. Callum Ferry stands big, and it's incredible reactions to keep it out. Left hand, you see it there. Tremendous save.
There's another Queen's Park substitution taking place. Jake Davison's on for Malachi Boateng as they prepare to defend this corner kick. And it's Turner to send it in. Another dangerous ball. Kick goes Queen's Park's way. If you cast your mind back to Inverness 2 or 3 weeks ago, Faddy, and Brian Graham glancing up at you as if to say, how on earth did Matt Ridgers make that save? I think Kyle Turner was thinking similar.
Yeah, and no wonder.
Ferry.
No wonder, because when it goes through, he doesn't snatch at it. It's a composed finish, and he gets a good connection on it, sizes the goalkeeper up, then makes his move. But the left hand from Callum Ferry is incredible. It's an unbelievable save. It should have been 2-0.
Is there anything more that Kyle Turner can do here?
No, I think it's a composed finish. He doesn't slash at it. He's just going to slot that in the far corner. And Ferry, you know, he stands up, reads it well, and the reaction, he does flick it with his left hand. It's just a brilliant save. I mean, after the event, of course, you could say, well, he could maybe go through his legs or he could go with power. But I think in that situation, if you're 9 times out of 10, that's how Kyle Turner's going to finish it. And 9 times out of 10, they go in.
Well, that breathed new life into Queen's Park, who certainly been second best in this second period.
He's made the changes to the side on Coyle. He needs something to spark a bit of life into them. Dom Thomas had that opportunity down the right with the cross into the box. He needs a response from his players. Whether that be the fact that they should be 2-0 down and a magnificent save, or the freshness to the team, but they need something different.
Looking to avoid a third consecutive defeat, which could be extremely damaging to their title credentials and aspirations. Thistle player down there. Doherty. Didn't like the challenge, did he?
No, he didn't. I didn't see too much. He's made some recovery, because I thought they were going to have to call for the stretcher there. Got up, he was fine. He needs to be careful as well. No, Stockett's team in a good position.
Yeah. On a yellow. I don't think ideally Chris Dillon would want to replace him, but might just have to contemplate that as Graham looks to release Turner. Offside flags up against Turner, I think it was. Graham. Kyle Turner seems to be playing slightly more advanced than I reckon I'm accustomed to seeing. He's certainly linking up well with Brian Graham at times.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's got so much space. He's making those runs beyond. He's finding, you know, nice little spaces to pick the ball up and play those passes. He's certainly getting the best out of him. He's been excellent tonight. Queen's Park are chasing the game now as well, and the midfield are trying to squeeze up, which leaves a big gap for Turner. Makes it difficult for the Queen's Park centre-backs to pick him up.
Nice flick from Graham. Wallace. Graham, his wonderful football again from Partick. Thistle! What a goal! And Kyle Turner does have the second for Partick Thistle. And what a team goal that was from the Jags. Brilliant build-up. Intricate passing, and the close range finish from Kyle Turner, denied a few moments ago. There was no denying him there, and Partick Thistle are well in charge of this game.
Well, I thought the first goal was an excellent goal. That was even better. It really was. Starts with Stevie Lawless getting his head up. Brilliant little pass into the path of Brian Graham. And when it comes into him, you think he's maybe going to be taking a shot on. Graham lays it off, goes again. Look at this for a flip. The Jack McMillan thought he was going to shoot. Kyle Turner getting in advance, and if he misses it, you've got Scott Tiffany at the back post. But that is an incredible goal. The little flick from Graham, the vision from Lawless, then Graham, composure of Jack McMillan. That's a wonderful goal, it really is.
Well, we're going to watch a lot of football this weekend, as we do every weekend. If you see a better team goal than that, regardless of which league you're watching, whether you're watching Sports Scene tomorrow night, whether you're watching Match of the Day, if you see a better move than that ends up in a goal, you'll be doing very well.
It's a tremendous goal, and they've had, you know, before the first goal, you mentioned that they've had moments where it's come into striker, it's round the corner, they've got advancing runners, so it's something that they work on. You can see that. It's a magnificent goal, it really is. Like Brian Graham's hungry for a goal himself.
It's a very long way back now for Queen's Park. They're going to have to do something against Chris Doolan's side that no one's been able to do so far, and that's score 2 goals.
Before the game as well, Owen Coyle, sorry, I was speaking about they have to pass and move the ball and they have to do things quick. It's exactly what Partick Thistle have done, particularly in this second half. They really have. Their movement's been excellent, their decision making's been much better, something that had to improve on in the first half, and the 2 goals they've scored are absolute beauties.
Response pretty quickly. No one's scored more goals away from home than them this season in the Championship. That goes astray from Dom Thomas. And here come Thistle again. Bannigan leading the counter. They look to be very much in control. Queen's Park goal could change that. Coyle side have got to believe there is a way back into the game for them. The home fans enjoying what they're seeing out there.
No wonder out. You can see the energy just lifting in every single player in a Partick Thistle jersey. They're enjoying themselves tonight. And this is a high pressure game for them. Spoke about that before the game.
Certainly is. Thistle have got Ayr at home next week before a trip to Accies, Arbroath at home, and then Raith away on the final day as they look to return to the top flight. Five seasons away since the relegation from the Premiership. And a lot longer wait for Queen's Park, who haven't been in the top division since 1958. And even if they do lose tonight, those ambitions of returning are far from extinguished.
Absolutely. You know, we speak about how well they've done this season, how good a team they have. Of course, you know, the run of form has been very, very poor, and it leaves it a difficult task for them, but they're still in there. It's not the end of the season. And if they don't win the league, clearly there's still a playoff as well, but they're still in a chance to win the league. We've seen it over the last few weeks.
Yeah, this is simply their time for a poor run of form, but most sides, in fact, every single side in the division has gone through periods of losing runs. And they'll still be top of the table regardless of the result come the close of play. Dundee can change that tomorrow, though. You saw Aaron Muirhead struggling there. Could do without another defensive injury. Thomas. Eze helps it into the edge of the penalty area. There's only going to be one winner there. Thistle about to make their first change of the evening. Danny Mullen, who was on the score sheet last weekend. And it's the end of the evening for Brian Graham.
What a performance out. Led the line brilliantly. His link-up play has been excellent. And Danny Mullen gets a chance to come on, get himself in the score sheet, but more importantly, he has to do that shift for the team, that hold-up play. Continue to get the runners from midfield.
Just over a quarter of an hour to play. Queen's Park could do with getting a goal back and really make a contest of it in the closing stages. Mullen, Turner for Lawless. Thistle looking for a third, which would surely put it beyond Queen's Park at this stage. Not this time. As he emerges with possession, Shields somehow manages to retain possession. No free kick, despite the claims of Jake Davidson. This score line, if it turns into a result, really puts the cat amongst the pigeons in terms of the title race. Dundee will certainly be lapping it up. Ayr United, who themselves have been in a bit of a sticky patch, and will drop to 4th below Chris Doolan's Partick Thistle if the scoreline stays the way it is. They'll have a chance to remedy that at home to Morton tomorrow. It's another huge game. Morton still with designs in the playoffs themselves. Here Queen's Park looking for a way back into the game. It's Eze who got something on it, but not enough. It's a goal kick to Partick Thistle as the minutes tick away. Sports Scene highlights as usual tomorrow at 7:30 on the BBC Scotland channel with the Old Firm game, and of course all the rest of Saturday's action. And Scotland women against Costa Rica women live on Alaba, 7:25 they are on air. There'll be English language commentary on that one, James, if you want to tune in, unless you're trying to improve your Gaelic.
Where is it? Hampden, did you just say that?
It's at Hampden.
So I could go to it as well.
You could go to it, or you could watch it on BBC Alaba if you prefer, and watch the red button. Partick Thistle change, and it's Aidan Fitzpatrick who'll come on for the closing minutes to replace Scott Tiffany. Ushered off the park by Willie Collum.
Not the game where Scott Tiffany's, you know, taking people on and creating loads of opportunities, but such a hard-working, effective performance from Scott Tiffany. Another star performer tonight.
For Aidan Fitzpatrick to help see out this game. Is there anything Queen's Park can do about it? That's one for him to chase. Eze trying to get back there. Fitzpatrick, one way then the other. And Eze up to the task.
What an introduction that would have been. Straight on the pitch. I thought he'd maybe take the shot away when he cut into his right.
Eze was looking for an offside there, I think. Turner, the deep ball. Holt was the target. Thistle have just had too much for Queen's Park in the second half.
Yeah, I think, you know, we spoke about it just after half-time. I think they were the better team in the first half. I think they've been the better team all night, but they've had far too much from this second half.
Thomas. It's not been his night. Not been really anyone in the black and white of Queen's Park's night.
I think that comes down to, we're looking at Lawless and Turner and Graham and the effect they've had in the game in Tiffany, but they've been solid, Thistle as well, when they've had to be. The back four has been excellent. Bannigan and Docherty sitting in front of them. Any chance that Queen's Park have had to maybe drift inside, they've been there to snuff it out. They've used the ball well. It's been a really strong team performance from Partick Thistle.
Kyle Turner was counting the Partick Thistle players that I could see, and I could only count 10. I thought I was going off my head, but then I realised Kyle Turner was down near the corner flag.
They'll be hoping that's just cramp.
Yeah.
And if it is, I'm surprised it's taking so long for him to get it, because he's been everywhere.
Yeah, this is as well as I've seen him play, I have to say, in the few years we've been doing the championship. Well, he's receiving treatment. Let's have a look back at a couple of fabulous goals.
Never tired of seeing them, will you? It's brilliant, brilliant play. As I said at the time, I thought the first goal was good. Couldn't get any better. And then they pop up with this one. Kyle Turner, the man there with a finish, but excellent play from Partick Thistle all round.
Well, I think certainly the end of the game for Kyle Turner. offside against Danny Mullen. Cammy Smith preparing to come on in place of the injured Kyle Turner. Just back from injury himself, Cammy Smith. Hasn't played since the Scottish Cup game against Dunfermline. That was back in January. Certainly, they will hope that the injury to Kyle Turner is simply...
It's good strength they're bringing on as well, isn't it, Al?
Yeah.
You know, bringing on Smith, Fitzpatrick, Danny Mullen. Good options to have coming off the bench. If throw Dowds into that as well. They're missing Harry Milne tonight. It's a strong squad they have here.
This could be a chance though. Queen's Park bringing on Scott Williamson for Connor Shields. As you may have noticed just a few minutes ago, there's another opportunity for Queen's Park, looking to make something of it, but hacked away in the end. And it could work out quite nicely for Danny Mullen, albeit he's not in a great rush to try and get the shot on target. Holt's up there again, Docherty now joining in the attack. Docherty's kept it alive. Lawless, Holt, and Mullen on the turn! It's another goal, Willie Cobb glancing across to his assistant. The flag stays down and Danny Mullen is on the mark once more. Chris Dillon keeps his composure on the sidelines, but he must be absolutely delighted by the way the second half has gone. Much as those fans, because they believe the title is still on.
I'll tell you, there's a slice of fortune in it landing to Danny Mullen. You see there, just off the Holt's face, but what a finish it is. He's got his back to goal, he's on it in a flash, little swivel, turn and hit. That is a magnificent finish from Danny Mullen. And I just have to say, the hack from Stevie Lawless was a totally intentional outside of the boot half volley to set Partick Thistle off down this left-hand side. But what a finish it is from Danny Mullen. And you have to say, this is a fair scoreline.
Well, I'm sure the guys were promising goals pre-match, and after a fashion we've got them. They've all come for Partick Thistle, and beginning to banish the memories of the 3 defeats earlier in the season. And you can certainly see from the replays there was no offside against Danny Mullen. Park, their final games of the season come at home to Hamilton Accies next weekend, next Friday, before a trip to Somerset Park to play here. Then it's Morton away and Dundee at home. It's not an easy end to the season as they try to end this 3-game now losing run.
No, it is not, and they're going to have to show a lot more than they have done tonight.
It's where that mental toughness that Owen Coyle was wondering about is going to have to come into play if they're to reverse this run. Here's Henderson looking for a consolation. Here's Thompson looking to cut a one. Kept out by Mitchell, determined to keep the clean sheet. Here's Oakley. Was that nudge in the back from Fitzpatrick? Looked an awful lot like it. Willie Collum and his assistant on this near side had decent views of it and thought not.
It looked like one from here out.
Corner kick to Queen's Park. Looked like a kind of needless challenge there.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a great deal of contact. There's enough in it for me. I think Aidan Fitzpatrick just puts the arm in the back of Oakley. I think that's a penalty kick, and I think he's got away with one there.
Thomas with the corner over Eze. Kildee does get the header in. But Mitchell clutches that one. It's going to be a 5th clean sheet in 6 games for David Mitchell. Frustrating and chastening evening for Queen's Park against their city rivals. No way through for Oakley. James deep into stoppage time. Who are you thinking man of the match wise?
It's been a tough one because I think there's been so many top performers all in a Partick Thistle shirt tonight, but for his all-action display, I'm going for Kyle Turner. I swear it really could have been anyone, but I think Kyle Turner has been excellent. Some of his touches, his energy from midfield to get beyond, topped it off with a magnificent goal as well.
Yeah, there's been a few candidates certainly in red and yellow, but Kyle Turner, a worthy winner, I would suggest. There's Fitzpatrick. Oh, it's kept out by Ferry somehow. Not that time. And Holt's got a second. And Partick Thistle have 4. They've reversed the scoreline from October here at Firhill. Callum Ferry somehow reacted to prevent the own goal, but could do nothing to deny Kevin Holt a second of the evening. What a night for Chris Doolan. And Partick Thistle really are dreaming of a title bid now.
You have to feel for Callum Ferry. It's good play down the left from Aidan Fitzpatrick. Puts a really dangerous cross in, and Ferry does really well to keep the first one out. But a man that was also in the running for man of the match with his energy to get forward. It'd be easy for him just to coast. Game over, 3-0. No, he wants another goal, and it's a brilliant touch and finish, you have to say, from Kevin Holt. To get in there, great finish. 4-0 does not flatter Partick Thistle.
What a second half performance this has been from Partick Thistle. And Chris Doolan really seems to have something of a Midas touch in his first managerial role. 9 games in now, just 1 defeat. And they are making a late run for a return to the Premiership.
I think that goal probably sums up the difference. I know it's 3-0 at the time, but Partick Thistle on the front foot, they're proactive. Queen's Park just waiting for someone else to tidy up for them.
Here's Oakley. Fitzpatrick, Thompson trying to side them down. Fitzpatrick strong enough to keep his feet. Is there another for Thistle? Deflected behind. And Willie Collum signals the end to a contest that was hard fought in the first half, but second half Thistle ran away with it. Kyle Turner with a man of the match performance, including a goal. And Owen Coyle's side were simply second best in that second period. And what a title race we have in our hands in the championship. Kevin Holt with 2 goals, the first and the last of the 4. And a Danny Mullen goal in there as well. A fabulous finish on the spin from the striker. A couple of really brilliant team goals as well to get them off and running. And Chris Doolan, a Partick Thistle legend, you have to say, as a player, their all-time top scorer in the league. 11 seasons he was here as a player, more than 400 appearances. And could he be the man who guides them back to the Premiership as champions? Well, they're 3 points off Queen's Park's lead at the close of play this evening. And who's to say they can't go on and overhaul that and go all the way to the title. Incredible second half at Firhill. It's finished. Partick Thistle 4, Queen's Park 0.
What an evening for the Jags. 4 goals, a clean sheet, 3 huge points for Chris Doolan's side. Leanne, what an all-round performance, particularly in that second half.
Yeah, brilliant. I thought the first half was kind of almost an even match in terms of the quality, but I thought second half Partick Thistle came out with that intent. We had spoke about it. What would it look like? What would the managers have said at half-time? What would you look to change in comparison to that first half? And Partick Thistle have shown real signs tonight that they could be in there with a chance of the title. I think it's a statement when you look at the goals that they scored, the types of goals, the manner in which they've scored them, the manner in which they've defended their own box as well, and really limited a good attacking side tonight to very little on their goal. I think when you look at the all-round performance, the strength and depth to the Partick Thistle side, as I say, real quality. You can hear the buzz in here. The supporters are going home happy. It is an almost perfect performance, from Chris Doolan's side. Yeah,
I was just going to say, Richard, I mean, the fans have been fantastic this evening. You can tell that as far as they're concerned, they want this side pushing for promotion. It's not about playoffs. It's like what Brian Graham was saying before the game. They want to try and win this league title.
Yeah, I think, and certainly after the performance tonight, you know, you're looking at Queen's Park have been up there the whole season, and Partick Thistle have demolished them tonight. You know, it's the first half, Leanne's right, it was even. Second half, Thistle were excellent, and they just blew Queen's Park away, and they had no answer for anything Thistle done. The pace, quality of the goals was fantastic, and yeah, that is a real statement. And you know, Dundee have got a tough game tomorrow. They'll be obviously if they win that, they'll go top themselves. But Thistle are right back in the race.
Well, joining us in the studio straight off the pitch, and to join us here, Kyle Turner. Kyle, first of all, how do you feel? 3 huge points. That must be brilliant for the squad in terms of confidence and morale.
Yeah, I think it's massive. For it's well deserved, but we obviously spoke before the game that it was a massive night, and if we could win, we'd be 3 behind them and looking up the way. So yeah, it was good. Let's take a look at your goal then. You can have a glance at it for the first time. Just talk us through this and what you were thinking, Kyle, on the play up, the build up to this. I think it's a really good play for Brian to start with, and then I think it's just getting between the goals, and obviously Jack Millen's played a great ball across, and thankfully I scored, because obviously 5 minutes before that I should have scored, but just thankfully it kind of killed the game a wee bit as well. It was a wee bit frantic at 1-0, so just happy the ball went in the net, to be honest.
That's the thing. Callum Ferry managed quite a big save. So yes, it was an excellent, well-worked goal. But we saw that for so many of the 4 goals. It wasn't just about one individual. It was ideal team play from a Partick Thistle's point of view.
Yeah, I thought the first goal was just as good as the second, to be honest. The play up into my feet and then into Brian around the corner, and I think just that's the way we work in training. We try and play, keep the ball on the deck, and the pitch sometimes can be difficult, but I thought he managed it well tonight. I
think the best bit about the goals is the fact that Brian Graham's so influential in both of them, but he hasn't scored either.
No, and he'll be raging in there. That's the thing. He just wants to score goals, but I think his link-up play was brilliant. It's good to play with up there, and I think just in general, all round, I think everybody was great tonight.
I think we can actually take a look at just the crucial save that we were talking about there that Callum Ferry made here. Just talk us through what you think of this, Kyle, just looking back at it.
I'm thinking when I get in to go across the keeper, but usually in training I just slip that down the side, but I don't know, just in the moment, obviously you go pick a corner and I hit it well, and it's just a great save, I think, but I think I should still score.
Not one that you're going to worry about too much, though, let's be honest, when it ended 4-0, but on another day you'd be thinking you'd hope to do better.
If it went one each, then I'd be thinking, oh no, I should have scored, but I think obviously it's a great save, but I should still score.
Your all-round performance was top drawer tonight, Kyle, hence why you stood here, and it looked like you were going to be that player that would grab the next goal. Was there anything said at half-time in terms of your attacking attributes and looking to get beyond and support Brian a bit more, or did that just come from your all-round
play? Not really,
play?
I think just in general, it's just try and get close to Brian, because he's a handful up there, he backs in and the ball just breaks, so you need to be there, and I think just in general, he just said keep getting in there, and thankfully we
certainly
eventually
looked like
got
you were
there.
going to grab a goal,
Yeah,
that's for
I
sure.
got there, so it's good.
Well, you are this evening's man of the match. Kyle Turner, congratulations. Go and enjoy it.
Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yeah, guys, I mean, well deserved as he walks off there. We can talk about him without feeling awkward. So, Richard, do you think it was a deserving man of the match performance from Kyle tonight?
Well, I did until Kevin Holt scored his second goal.
Yes, I was going to say.
I can see Big Holty standing there looking at me. No, I think he only scored the 1 goal, but I thought he was influential in everything that Thistle done. He plays in that position where he has a bit of freedom. I think it really, really suits him. A lot of ability. He sees a pass. He times his runs really well, and when he gets into the box, yes, we're joking that he should probably score. The goalkeeper has a fantastic save, and then he gets on the score sheet. But I think that position, it really, really suits him, because he's a perfect foil for Brian Graham.
Well, it's been 3 defeats in a row now for Queen's Park. Danny Mullen has been chatting to Amy.
Danny, first off, talk us through that goal.
Yeah, it was, I can't really mind much of the build-up here, but it was just a loose ball, and I've reacted first and turned to hit it on the spin, so I was glad it went in the net.
You replaced Brian Graham late on. Pre-match, he told me he quickly, rightfully, turned me against my words. I said that, Partick Thistle, they're still looking for those playoff positions, and he was like, no, we're going for the title still. That's a huge 3 points tonight towards that dream, isn't it?
Yeah, as you say, it's a huge 3 points, and another 3 points to catch the teams above us, and since Dulles has been in the gaffer, that's what we've been looking to do, close the gap and catch the teams above us, and we're doing that slowly at the moment, and there's still games there to be won, so we're happy to go on away with another good victory, and we'll look forward to the next game.
You obviously know this division very, very well. Your former club Dundee, they'll no doubt be appreciative of this result tonight as well. It's very tight at the top, but that's exactly where you want to be at Thistle, isn't it? Yeah,
as you say, this championship it's always a tight league, and I think it'll go all the way to the end this year, so it's good for the teams in and around the playoffs to have the hope to go and win promotion. So as you say, it's a tight league, very tough league, but one we're looking to go and win.
And you mentioned there since Chris Doolan came in, what has he managed to do that has turned the club, not that anything was particularly going wrong, but they've just managed to perhaps go up that little level, that extra level?
Yeah, as you say, we've always had the players in the changing room are top class, so the quality's always been there. It's just we've managed to tighten up and not lose as many goals, and we look more solid, so and that comes with Big Brian at the top and the ones that come on for the bench. We're all willing to play a part, and as you say, the gaffer, we come into game with the game plans now, so we know what we're doing, and we know whatever way the game's going, we can kind of see it out.
Really appreciate your time tonight.
So yeah, Danny Mullen with goal number 3, and someone who managed to get a double tonight, Kevin Holt, joining us. Kevin, congratulations, brilliant result, but what about your individual performance? You must be pretty pleased.
Aye, delighted, aye. My first double, so delighted.
We can actually take a look at just I think we can see the first goal. It was quite nervy up until that point, so a really important goal to get at the start of that second half.
Yeah, obviously it was a tight game up to that point. I think if anything, we were pushing the first half and couldn't quite get a clear-cut chance. And then obviously the message at half-time was to go in and try and get ahead and kind of don't take the foot off the gas and keep going, and like we've done the last couple of games, and that's what we've done. And once we got ahead, we didn't look like conceding, and more goals were always going to come. Very
well worked goals. We'll see your second. Crucially, as we were saying just before you joined us, Kevin, it wasn't just about individuals out there. There were so many lovely moments of play that involved, 3-4 players that just resulted in fantastic goals.
Yeah, obviously the full team were brilliant tonight, and you see that there was lots of spells of play that you can see the good movement between the boys linking up at the front, and you see that every day in training, and it's good to see it the last 2 games come to fruition and score loads of goals, and pleasing for all the fans to see that tonight.
I do remember in a previous show you telling us you don't have a weaker foot.
I know, I've got more in my right than I do in my left.
Your left hand, you're right.
Is that you back to being a fullback again now?
No, never. In the bin.
What was the manager saying just in the dressing room at half-time? Because to come out and score 4 after we'd seen a bit of a cagey first half, you could maybe say. What was being said in that dressing room? Because you certainly came out ready to chase the result.
Just more of what we done last week. Obviously, had a really good result last week and a great performance, and we played some really good stuff. And what you saying, the first half was maybe a bit nervous, a bit cagey, but the confidence was definitely there. So it was just a case of getting that goal and settling us down a wee bit, and then going on and kind of dominating the game. Like I said, don't take the foot off the gas, and we've done that, and obviously a convincing win.
For so long, it's been talk about potential playoff positions, but now 3 points off the leaders, you must be thinking about trying to win that title. Has that always been the aim from you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I think for the start of the season, our squad's brilliant. I think it was definitely the aim at the start of the season. We've slipped up far too many times that we're happy with. Obviously, we feel like we should be on more points than we are, but the league table doesn't lie. We've put ourselves in a hard position, and we've just got to win the remaining games, see where that takes us, and win tonight and puts pressure on Dundee tomorrow, and just see how they get on.
Yes, we're watching closely, I am sure. Kevin Holt, thank you very much for joining us.
Cheers.
And enjoy that result this evening.
Cheers.
Let's take a look then at the table. What does that 4-0 win for Thistle do to the championship standings? So yes, it takes them up to 3rd, but crucially, when you look at it, just 3 points off Queen's Park. Dundee, I'm sure, delighted with that result when they're just a point behind Queen's Park with a game in hand and a game to play tomorrow. But crucially, someone who will be very happy is manager Chris Doolan, who's just joined us. Chris, first of all, just your initial reaction to that particularly second half performance, to score 4 goals and to keep a clean sheet. You can't complain much about that, let's be honest.
No, not at all. I'm really proud of them. I think it's the first half was it was tight, that nobody wanted to give too much away. But I thought second half we came out, we knew we had to win the game, we knew we wanted to win the game, and the numbers we came at forward in order to score the goals, it is fantastic, but we're so assured defensively. The only way we can attack is because we know we shut off the middle of the pitch behind the ball, which comes from practice, it comes from us working and training, and understanding the players have. But the movement as well, the front 4 or 5 players, is what drags them all over the place and creates goals for us.
And you could see that. The guys were saying, a lot of the movement, it was so well worked, a number of those goals. It did look like it was straight off the training park, and something that you guys have clearly worked hard on since you've come in.
Yeah, we work on patterns of play, so it's not a surprise to the players what the picture looks like, with and without the ball. They've all got roles with the ball and without the ball. So it's not a case of you're a striker, you stand up the pitch. When we don't have it, we have to get back in and help out. And that's why I think I'm really proud as well of another clean sheet. Because it's a team game. We attack as a team and we defend as a team. So strikers can take credit for keeping clean sheets, but defenders come and help us when we go forward as well. So it's a real team effort.
Speaking of team effort, I'm sure this is a goal that you'd like to watch back. Kyle Turner's a brilliantly well-worked team move in the lead up to it?
It's absolutely brilliant. And again, it's that type of play in the final third, in and around the box, one touch passing. You won't get time to take touches in the box. Everything's got to be done one touch. Movement off the ball. So we've got runners going past the ball, and a real desire to get in the 6-yard box to score goals, because inside the 6-yard box is where you'll score more goals than anywhere else in the pitch.
For you, Chris, 9 games, just 1 defeat in that time. What do you think's been the difference since you've come in? You've known this club very well for years, but what has clicked differently since you came in at the start of March?
I think we've just had a real mentality that, we know what the club should look like, on the pitch, off the pitch. There's a real mentality that this place can go somewhere. We know what it's capable of. I've been lucky enough to play in the team that was in the top 6 in the Premier League, so I know what the team should look like, and the style of play we should have to get us there. But it's about players for me. Players, you can put anybody you want in the touchline. It's about players going out there and doing the business week in, week out, and having that attitude, that desire to get somewhere in the league, and hopefully that attitude stays like that all the way at the end.
Well, Chris, congratulations on the result this evening. Thank you very much for joining us. We can now hear from Owen Coyle, who's with Amy.
Owen, it's all about the performance for you. What was the most disappointing aspect of tonight's?
Yeah, I think certainly second half was nowhere near good enough, Amy. I think you can lose a goal at any given time, but what I'm looking for is a better reaction to what we've seen. And certainly that's nowhere anywhere near good enough in terms of what we are trying to achieve. And, to be honest, I'm standing here embarrassed at losing at the scoreline, which we did, because the scoreline's one thing, but to not get when you go a goal down to that positive reaction. We'd 1 or 2 little things, but nowhere near what we're capable of. And that's the thing we're obviously speaking to him there about. We need to be better than that. And that's, I can only apologise to the supporters and everybody involved with the club with that, because that second half is nowhere near the level that we're looking to improve this football club moving forward.
So it's the lack of testing Thistle really tonight? Well,
I think first half, I thought we actually shaded the first half, although there was nothing in it coming in goalless. But the first goal was always going to be important. But listen, goals can happen in games. It could be decisions, something. But the important thing is your reaction to that. And our reaction wasn't to the level we would expect. And then we looked obviously chasing the game. We leave ourselves wide open. And some of the goals we conceded tonight were certainly, well credited Partick Thistle, but I think we've got to defend those situations better. But it's a sore one, there's no doubt about it, and certainly not the way the performance we envisaged, or certainly the result before the game.
I know you don't like to be drawn on it too much, but do you think perhaps the pressure of being league leaders is taking its toll perhaps on this side a little? Well,
I think it's easy to say to give them a get out. Ultimately, we'll do everything we can and get them back on side. And ultimately, listen, that's my ultimate responsibility. I'm the one that sends them out there, so I'll take that fully on board. I think I've had some defeats in my time, but I'm just so disappointed and frustrated at the level of performance in the second half, how the reaction to the goal. So that's about we need to address quickly, because obviously that's games we've lost now, and really, that's 3 teams we've lost the last 3 games, and we'd beaten them teams earlier in the season. So we need to rectify that and rectify it quickly. There's 1 or 2 boys, to be fair, that sat on the bench and never got on. If I was them, I'd be banging my door down on Monday morning wanting to know why I'm not in the team. So we'll look to change things up and give boys an opportunity to need one, and we'll take it from there.
As ever, Owen, thank you so much.
Thank you, cheers. All right.
Well, we could obviously hear from Owen Coyle there just how disappointed he was. We saw him on the touchline visibly pretty disappointed at points, Leanne. Does Amy touch on it there, saying that is it easier to be the chasing pack than it is to be the league leaders? Do you think that's what we're seeing influencing the performances, certainly in the last couple of weeks?
I think it could be. I don't think it's an excuse that Owen Coyle, as you hear him answer there, I don't think he wants to use that as an excuse. But I think when you're a group of players that have not been in a position where you're naturally leading from the front, or you're comfortable being that league leader, and you've not been in a situation before that you're under pressure and you're facing results like this and how you respond. I think when you look at the difference in a Partick Thistle side tonight to a Queen's Park side, Partick Thistle are an experienced bunch. They've been round the block, they've got a manager that knows the league, knows the division, knows what the expectation is. So it might be affecting players, but I don't think that's an excuse, because I think as a footballer you would much rather be at the top of a table chasing a title than in those playoff positions where everything's in doubt.
Well, we can take a look at tomorrow's fixtures. Dundee could go top if they manage to get a result at Gayfield. huge game in terms of the playoff position, Ayr United and Morton. Richard, how do you even pick out a game out of that list that really stands out? Because they all mean so much.
Yeah, you know,
much.
Hamilton Cove
at the
huge as
bottom.
well. I think, you know, Inverness and Raith Rovers is the only one that's probably got slightly less riding on it, but obviously both those teams still looking to get into the playoffs. But yeah, the game at the top is the one. You know, Dundee have shown this season that on a number of occasions, just when you think they're going to kick on and go top of the league and kind of motor away from the teams, they falter. And so now is a great opportunity for them. 2 games in hand over Queen's Park, one of them tomorrow, obviously. But Arbroath are on a bit of a resurgence.
I was just about to say, we know this. Arbroath has not been an easy place to go.
They've been great in the last few weeks. You know, managed to claw their way up the table themselves. So it's not an easy game. But if you're going to win the title, then you need to go to places like Arbroath and you need to win the game. So Dundee will be looking to do that. But this week's fixtures, tonight's game, and these 4 fixtures there. This is why everyone likes to watch the Championship, because there's something riding on most of the games, and I think it's just it's going to be a fantastic weekend. And obviously Thistle have done their work tonight, a fantastic win, and they can just sit back and hope for draws across the board. I think.
Best league in the world, isn't it, Leanne? But I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who do you think is going to win the league at this point?
I
do you think we'll have a better idea tomorrow?
Possibly. I don't think he'll change though. I think at the start of the season,
give it away.
Dundee. I think based on the size of the squad that they've got, the group of players that they've got, I think the budget that they had in comparison to other teams, it was theirs to lose, and it's certainly probably still theirs to lose when you look at the game in hand that they've got. But it won't ease up this pressure. It's going to go right to the wire, I think.
Richard, do you think so?
I definitely think it's going to go right to the wire. But I think for nostalgic reasons, I think I'm going to go say Thistle are going to come back and win the title.
You would say that, wouldn't you? Well, thank you very much to Leanne and Richard. 3 points, 4 goals. It has been a great Friday for Partick Thistle. Good night.